Hello, my name is MaryD and welcome to my YouTube channel, MaryD Plays. In this video, I'll be playing level 1, doing the rock path for acoustic guitar. Technically, I'm using a acoustic classical guitar, guitar with nylon strings. So I should actually do these lessons also with a steel string guitar. They do sound a little different, and you're supposed to really play with your finger with a nylon string, but I've been using a pick. Anyways, continuing on. In the last videos, we did course 1, course 2. Well, technically, actually, we did what course 5 was in the last video. But we did course 1, course 2, course 3, skip course 4 to do later, because I'm planning on combining all the riff courses together. And yeah, last video, technically, we actually did course number 5, saying good habits, strumming. In this course, we're going to do course 6 for this video. Easy reading chord diagrams and tablature. That should be a little fun. All right, continuing on. So, understanding how to read chord diagrams and chord charts so you can play hundreds of chord and song possibilities. Sounds like the fire department is about to take off. Did you hear that? Give it a moment. Yeah. No, I'm sure as I start my lessons, they'll end up starring or take off. Okay, so first video is read a chord diagram. Then we have lessons and then followed by exercises by the looks of it. This last exercising has to do about learning how to read and play 4/4 time. Okay. Learning about chord diagrams, walk away being able to read diagrams for 1 and 3 finger G and C chords. By the end of this lesson, you will learn how to read chord diagram with the G and C. So they got 1 finger, read 1 finger G chord diagram, and they got read a 3 finger G chord diagram. And here's the chords in G. I'm now confused. I thought there was information on C. Huh. All right, tabs. Okay, just one easy tab.
A chord diagram is a way for you to read music based on finger shapes. How do you read one? The diagram has lines that are going up and down and lines going across. The lines going across represent your frets. The top line, the thicker line, is actually the nut of the guitar, but the one directly below it is your first fret, followed by the second, third, and the fourth. The lines going up and down represent your guitar strings. So from left to right, E, A, D, G, B, and high E. The next thing to look for are dots, and the dots on the diagram tell you where to place your fingers. So for example, your 1 finger G chord, take your 3rd finger and put it on the 3rd fret of high E. That's where the dot's located, right there. Next, look at the top of the diagram for the X's or the O's. The O's tell you which strings to strum open. So with a 1 finger G chord, we strum 3 strings. If you see an X, the X's indicate which strings to avoid. So if there's an X above E, A, or D, we won't strum that. So we just stick with the O's and then the dots on the fretboard itself. It's literally as though the guitar is hanging off the wall and you're looking straight at the fretboard.
Okay, that was a short lesson. Okay, now here is an example of why I have an extra browser open. Because I like to, oh, that's musician. I had that open. Okay. See, full screen. Yes, so I can do the people see it. Okay. Chords. C and G.
Let's practice reading chord diagrams using a simple C and G chord. Let's take a look at the following diagram of a simple C chord. So as you're looking at the diagram, the line going up and down on the right is your high E string, and on the top of that line you'll see a 0. So that means you'll play that string open high E. The next line is the B string, and you'll see a dot behind the first fret. So with our first finger, we'll press down behind the first fret. The G string is next, and you'll see a 0 on top of that, an open string as well. Behind the D, A, and low E strings, you'll see an X above each of those. That means to avoid playing those 3 strings. So now, just strum the 3 strings you need for this simple C chord. Let's review how to read a chord diagram with a simple G chord. So begin with your high E string, the line going up and down on the right. In this case, we see a dot behind the 3rd fret. So let's put our ring finger behind the 3rd fret and press down on the string. The B string's next, and we see a 0 on top of that, so we'll play that string open. And the G string also has a 0 on top of that, so I'll play that open. Now for the D, A, and low E strings, again, there are X's above those strings, so I'll avoid strumming those. So now let's play our simple G chord. Now that you know how to read a chord diagram, stick with 1 and 2 finger chords for a while. More advanced chords will have more dots on the diagrams, which means you'll need to use more fingers. Sometimes you'll even see numbers on those dots, which tells you specifically which finger to use for smoother transitions between chords. Keep practicing, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, okay. I'm confused. There's tabs. All right, continuing on.
In this lesson, we're going to learn how to read tablature. Tablature, or tab, is a written notation system for guitar that's used as a faster alternative to standard music notation. Now, you can use tab to learn phrases, melodies, even entire songs, but it's particularly helpful when you are learning short single-note melodies or riffs. Tab is a visual representation of the frets and strings of a guitar. So tab has 6 lines, and your guitar has 6 strings. Each line of tab represents one of those 6 strings. Try looking at the strings with the guitar laying on your lap. If you look straight down, you'll see how tab is laid out. Imagine each string is a line from the tablature. The top line of the tablature is the high E string, or first string. The next line down represents the B string, also known as the second string. Following that, we have the third string, or the G string. After the third string is your fourth string, also known as the D string. Following that, you have your fifth string, your A string. And then finally your sixth string, the low E string, which is the bottom line in the tablature. Let's identify the strings out of order for a second. Start with your first, your third, try going to the second, try out the fourth, you can skip back to the 3, go to the 5th, your 4th, and then your 6th. Now that you understand where the strings are, let's talk about frets. When you look at tab, you will see numbers written on the top of the lines. We read them from left to right like a book. These are not finger numbers, but rather each number indicates the fret that you use to press down on the string. 0 indicates an open string, or a string that isn't fretted by your fingers. If you need to fret a string at fret 2, you see a 2 on the line, and if you need to fret a string at fret 4, you'll see a number 4. Let's read the short tab. We see all 6 lines and fret numbers. We also have a line going down the middle, and this is called the bar line. The music between bar lines is called a bar, or a measure. Now we have 2 bars of music in this example. Let's look at our first bar. You'll notice a 0 on the first string, second string, third string, and open 4th string. And in the second measure, we have 2 notes on the 4th string, or your D string. They go from the 1st fret to the 3rd fret. Then we skip over to the G string's 1st fret. And then we even play the 2nd fret of your B string. Now let's talk about playing multiple strings. When 2 strings or more are played together at the same time, the fret numbers you are using are displayed directly on top of each other. So let's look at this tab. This time we have 3 bars of music. Let's look at the first bar. Here we have 2 open strings played at the same time on the E and the B strings. Next up, we have the G and D played together. And in that next bar, we have the A and the E played together. Now that you know how to read tab, search for songs or melodies to play that are written in tab. You'll find that it's a great shortcut for learning how to play songs.
Okay, I'm going to play this again. I kind of fumbled fingered somewhere in the second measure of example 1. one more time. Okay. Next lesson. Apologize in advance. I'm hearing neighbors out and about, or at least people outside or something. So I live in an apartment building. There's like 22 units in this apartment building, and it doesn't matter what time of day. There's always activity around. Okay. Well, first of all, let's look at the tabs. All right, this is a case where I'll load this in a full screen. Copy. All right, getting back to the video.
Now let's play a tab on one string. We'll use the low E string. That's the bottom line of the tablature. Also remember that the numbers on the lines indicate which frets to play. So on this tab, we see at the beginning 0033. So that means I'm going to play the open low E string 2 times. And then with my index finger, I'll play the 3rd fret twice. Let's try that again. So open, open, 3, 3. Next we see 0055. So I'll play open E again twice. 0, 0. Now with my ring finger, I'll play 5, 5. Next we have 0066. And I'll play 0, 0, and now 6, 6 with my pinky. Like that. The last part of this is 0, 0, 3 by itself. So I'll play 0, 0, 3 again with my index finger. Let's put that whole thing together. I'll walk you through it nice and slowly, and we'll go 5 times in a row. I'll count you in. 1, 2, ready, go, and O, O, 3, 3, O, O, 5, 5, O, O, 6, 6, O, O, 3, repeat, O, O, 3, 3, O, O, 5, 5, O, O, 6, 6, O, O, 3, again, and O, 3, O, 5, O, 6, O, 3. 2 more times, and O, 3, O, 5, O, 6, and O, 3. Last time, and O, 3, O, 5, O, 6, and O, 3. It takes a little coordination to remember string and fret numbers, but over time it will get easier. Keep practicing, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, okay.
In this lesson, we're going to talk about what time signature is, the important information it contains, and how to read the most common time signature, 4/4. What is time signature? Time signature shows us how the music is counted. You can find it at the beginning of a tab in a song. It's made up of two numbers, and they look like a fraction. Almost all music has an underlying pulse, and this pulse is called the beat.
Right, my bad. I thought maybe it went to the next lesson. Or next course, I mean. Alright. Okay. Continuing back.
Pulse, and this pulse is called the beat. A time signature helps us group the beat into short, manageable segments called bars or measures.
Let's do it over again.
In this lesson, we're going to talk about what time signature is, the important information it contains, and how to read the most common time signature, 4/4. What is time signature? Time signature shows us how the music is counted. You can find it at the beginning of a tab in a song. It's made up of two numbers, and they look like a fraction. Almost all music has an underlying pulse, and this pulse is called the beat. A time signature helps us group the beat into short, manageable segments called bars or measures. Bars are indicated by vertical lines called bar lines. Once separated into bars, we can keep track of the beat by counting up to a number from 1. The time signature tells us which number to count up to. It also tells us what type of note we will use to define the beat. There are many different time signatures, but some are more common than others. Let's check out a really common one. Let's talk about how to read a 4/4 time signature. 4/4 is the most common time signature you will plan, and this is true across all genres of music. You have two 4s stacked on top of each other. They tell us how to read and count the beats in a song. The top number tells us how many beats are in a bar. In this case, there are 4 beats in a bar. The bottom number tells us which type of note is equal to 1 beat. In this case, the 4 on the bottom stands for a quarter note. The quarter note is equal to 1 beat. You can have different combinations of rhythms, whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes in a bar of 4/4 time as long as they add up to 4. That's how to read a 4/4 time signature. In this exercise, we'll review reading a 4/4 time signature and then play an example in 4/4 time. Let's review time signatures in 4/4 time. The top number of a time signature tells us how many beats are in a bar. The bottom number tells us which note value is equal to 1 beat. In 4/4 time, the top number tells us we have 4 beats in a bar, and the bottom number tells us that the quarter note is equal to 1 beat. Let's walk through this exercise in 4/4 that combines basic rhythms like whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes. We have 2 bars of rhythm, and we'll be playing on the open high E string. In the first bar, we have a whole note, which is equal to 4 beats. Let's play and count that much. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the second bar, we have a half note, which is equal to 2 beats, and 2 quarter notes, which are each equal to 1 beat. Let's play and count this measure together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go back to the top and put these 2 bars together, playing and counting. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, let's play this exercise 4 times in a row to a steady tempo without stopping. To get the most out of this exercise, see if you can count out loud while you are playing. I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Congrats, you just read rhythms in 4/4 time, and we'll see you next time.